Karibuni sana, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of K Nation, and thank you for tuning in to another new delicious recipe video. For today, we're going to make something that's very comforting and quite befitting for the cozy part of the year that we're moving on to. Some banana bread upon request of one of my readers. It's very simple to make with a tiny twist of my own, and you're going to see how easy you too can make this right at home. I can't wait to see you guys enjoy this recipe with the people you love most. And with that said, let's get started. Karibuni sana. Before we begin with making our amazing banana bread, let me take you through all the ingredients I have laid out that are going to be used for this bomb-ass recipe. First and foremost, obviously for banana bread, you need bananas. And for me, I find that the spottier the bananas are, the better they are for your banana bread. And sometimes when I have a large batch of bananas, which I cannot eat at the moment and finish all of them, I just peel all of them, wrap in my cling film, then throw them in my freezer, and when I will need to use them for my banana bread, I just take a couple out, allow them to thaw on my countertop, and then proceed to use as I would. The riper your bananas, the better they are for your banana bread. So do not use the let's go karibu kuiva or the let's go green. No. Make sure they are ripe. And the hack I've shared with you for avoiding wastage of your bananas: peel, wrap, freeze, then use them later on for your banana bread. We are not what we are wastage fuku. Do not waste anything. Always find ways to use them later on. Now, next is my mala. I love using mala for my banana bread. Some people prefer to use sour cream, but here in Kenya it's quite difficult to get, and a perfect substitute which everyone can get is mala. I've said this a million, killion, zillion times before. Mala, because of its tart nature and because of its creamy richness, it adds a nice moist component to anything you cook it with or bake it with. You can use it for your pancakes, for your cupcakes, and today we're going to use it for our banana bread. It will make it a lot more rich and moist, which is a plus for this recipe. And then another component I like using for this recipe is my brown sugar. You can use any other kind of sugar, nothing will change, but for me I prefer brown sugar because of its inherent rich dark color which imparts into the banana bread itself. It's also a lot more aromatic, and its molasses pairs well with the bananas, giving you a better result overall. Now for the spices that I chose to use, I went with cinnamon, which if you guys bake a lot or cook a lot, you know bananas and cinnamon, same WhatsApp group. Bananas, cinnamon, and then to cut through the richness of cinnamon, I add my personal favorite home spice, cardamom. Those paired together will give you an excellent result in the end. For my vanilla extract, I chose one by Naisenya Foods. I'm going to link her contact down below, so make sure you go see and you go buy. Everything else, my all-purpose flour, my butter, my baking powder, my eggs, and now that we have everything ready, set to go, tuendelee sasa. The very first thing we're going to start with is to mash our bananas. You can use a fork or anything that you find convenient using. All you need to make sure is your bananas are mashed and nice and creamy at the end. Next, take your 2 cups of flour, spoon and level, and then add your baking powder, cardamom and cinnamon. Mix everything in until completely combined. Set that aside, and then in another bowl, add your butter, your brown sugar, and cream everything until combined and nice, rich and creamy. Then add your eggs one at a time, mixing with each addition. Then follow this by your mala, the mashed bananas, and your vanilla extract. Mix everything together, and once it's nice and combined, add your dry ingredients and fold everything in. This has turned out and combined exactly as I envisioned it to. Remember, at this point, if you have some nuts, this is the point where you should add them. I wanted to add some groundnuts, but I did not buy some, and I ran out of the ones I had in the house, so I chose to just forgo that. But the flavor of nuts and bananas goes very, very well, and if you like that flavor combination, go right ahead and add some nuts. But if you prefer not to have some nuts, or if you have a nut allergy, more than free to leave that out. Also remember, you're free to adjust the sugar quantity upwards or downwards as per your personal preference. For me, I only use 4 tablespoons, but if you want it a bit sweeter, feel free to add some more. Now that this is combined, and also remember, once it's just combined, stop. Don't over whip it because you'll require the air bubbles for nice fluffy banana bread. This is combined as it should be, so we're going to set this aside, and then we're going to grease our bread pan. If you have some oil spray, feel free to use some, but for me, I'm doing this the old school way, which is just greasing my pan, and then I'm going to later on dust it with some flour. This is totally okay. I'm using margarine to grease my pan because butter is so expensive, though for baking, for my mixture, I use butter. And what else do you want to say? I bought this bread pan from Kaluhi'S, the one at Karen, but you can also find it at any big, well-stocked Kaluhi'S. Personally, I prefer the Kaluhi'S, the one at Tmall, because they have so many wide variety of baking items. This is not an ad. If you want to buy a baking whatever, just go to Tmall, Kaluhi'S. They have a wide variety. Now for my baking trays, mine is 9 by 5 inches, and this one cost me 400 shillings. Cost me 400 shillings, and you know the quality is quite good, so it will last a lifetime. As I've said, this is not an ad, but just telling you where to find good things. Okay, my pan looks just about right. So what we're going to do next, we're just going to pour our butter into the pan, and before we proceed, I have to mention my oven is already preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, so keep that in mind. But in case you forget, Mrs. how the exact recipe quantities and any nitty-gritty for this recipe are on the blog, so make sure each time when you watch a video and you miss kakitu kadogo or you want to confirm something, always go to the blog because everything is written. And in case you're going to a place that has a weak connection or weak Wi-Fi, remember my blog has a downloadable recipe, so you can download this recipe and use it ahead of time. So tuendelee, toke hii hapa, then you place it inside the oven to bake and get done. Banana bread will bake for about an hour, but when we cross the 30-minute mark, I'll come back and lightly cover the top with aluminium foil so that the top doesn't get too brown, and also to allow the inside to cook very well and to retain some moisture. So don't forget that point. For me, it's now time to go and clear my sink, answer some emails, do whatever I'm going to do as this bakes. And for you, go to subscribe, please subscribe, but we'll come back here and eat when it's ready. One thing I have to really emphasize is for baking, you really have to be precise. If I say use 1 cup, make sure you're using a measuring cup, kupima that 1 cup. Only use a measuring cup, not any random cup in your jikoni. When I say 1 egg at room temperature, make sure you use 1 egg at room temperature. If I say use milk at room temperature, for example, it has to be at room temperature, not straight from your fridge. Baking, unlike cooking, has to be precise. If you get things prepare yourself for disaster. But you know what, I'm also a novice at baking. I'm still learning as I go along, so please come along with me and let's learn together. Sawa, don't be afraid to make mistakes, but still be mindful of what I've just said. Baking, unlike cooking, is a science and you need to be precise all day, every day. So for me, let me do what I need to do. Let's wait for this baby to bake and then we'll be back here after an hour. Emails sent out, tweets done, and now my banana bread, as you can see, is baked and perfectly golden. I haven't had my breakfast yet and I know this is going to be a feast of a lifetime. You have to admit the recipe was pretty simple and I can't wait to see you guys try it out. Don't forget, send me pictures of everything you try out. I love showing you guys off. For me, I'm now going to wrap this up. I'm going to allow this to cool down so that I can slice it, photograph it, and the best part, eat it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget the exact recipe quantities are on my blog, link on my description box. I hope you love this video. Till next time, cheers to all things delicious. Kwaherini sana, and thank you so much for being here.